All right, welcome to the MWG Podcast. This is Whispering Tears, and I'm joined with Westsidious and Mossta, and we have a couple interesting topics for you today. We're going to go over some recent news. I'm not going to do any spoilers for the news, but our main topic today is classic games you have missed out on, and what games you missed, what you wish you could have played back in the day. And then our closing segment will be our greatest gaming-related regrets. So, with that said, let's get it started.
Welcome to episode 3, guys.
Yeah, dude. Episode 3. Wow, dude. It's already been 3 weeks of this. That's wild. That's some news right there.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Doing anything for 3 weeks is news. Imagine being consistent. You know what I mean?
I mean, technically, we formed a habit now, so.
Wait, isn't it like 20? Isn't it like 20 something times, or like 17 or something, where it's a habit?
21 days, I think, makes a habit.
Oh, 21 days. Okay.
You got 3 weeks. All right, let's go.
Easy. Really, 21 days. Seriously. All right. So I did want to ask. So I did want to ask you guys first. So first off, the PlayStation 5. So what do you guys know? What do you guys know about the PlayStation 5? Within the last week, there was a showcase for it. I didn't get to catch it, but I do know a little bit. But how much you guys know? What do you guys think?
Boo.
Wait, you boo? Moss, you
yeah,
booed?
I'm booing.
Oh, really? Let's hear it. This is juicy. Let's hear it.
So the PlayStation 5, like the showcase was whatever. It didn't get me excited for the PS5. There was nothing, like some of the games were pretty cool. Like the new Ratchet & Clank was pretty good. Resident Evil 8 looked good. I think there was like a couple other games that looked kind of interesting, but like I didn't get any of the information that I was looking forward to. There was no release date, there was no price, there was no confirmation of backwards compatibility, and those are all kind of like the key things that I was looking to find out, with this event.
For sure.
And I didn't get anything. I didn't get any like actual information. I just got a couple of games that looked pretty cool. I mean, for like Horizon 2 was like the big, end piece of the whole event, and I haven't played through the first one yet. I have it, so like that didn't really get me excited. Spider-Man was pretty cool, but it looks like it's just going to be a smaller like side game than like a full-on like new game, like worth the whole $60 package and all that.
Right.
Yeah. So I was pretty disappointed.
Naj, what do you think?
Well, I missed the presentation too, but the starting lineup, I don't know the full lineup, but at least they have a real starting lineup, not like the PS4 launch. I still can't remember what came out.
I can tell you some of the PS4 stuff because I got mine on launch day. Killzone came out. I bought that game and have not played it for more than 15 minutes. Killzone and Knack were like the two big, like, not big, but those were like these are new for PS4 games. And then everything else was like a bunch of like sports games and stuff that they kind of ported over.
Yeah.
That's boring. I don't know. With PS5, I'm really just gonna wait till they have like the PS5 Slim or the PS5 XL or the second generation of it.
You would think they would think that would just come out immediately, dude. It's just convenient. Like they just gotta come out with this
PS5 Pro.
With this tank, right? And then they're gonna come out with this Pro that has better hardware, and it's like I don't know. I mean, if they want to push it out, business is business. But I mean, it's up to them,
Well, PS4 is getting up there. I mean, it's what 7 years old at this point, which is actually like a pretty
the lifespan
long wait in between new generations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it coming out like now actually makes sense, and more than likely they'll be doing a pro version of it or whatever. Right. Looks like that's going to be a trend moving forward. like Xbox Series X has already basically said that's what they're doing. It'll be, this will be the first version of it, but there's going to be more versions coming out later. So
I do have. Oh, what's up, Mo? Sorry.
I'm just saying that's probably what the console generation going to look like from now on. We don't know how Nintendo's going to do it yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like, just looking at their handhelds, they've been doing that for a while now.
Yeah.
They had the Game Boy Advance. Oh no, we can just start with the Game Boy. They shrunk it down and made a Game Boy Pocket. They did
Right.
the Game Boy Advance SP and Micro and all that. The DS had like 3 different versions with the Lite and the GSI.
Yeah.
And 3DS did the same thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if a Switch Pro came out or like a Switch 2 came out and they started doing, the stronger version of the same console thing.
Oh man, I gotta buy another Switch. Yikes!
Just trade in. Just trade up. That's what I did with my PS4.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like how the generations are too fast. Like Switch came out 3 years ago. PS4 is old and it's about time, but like I'm not ready for a new Nintendo anything.
I love my Switch. I'm not ready either.
Honestly, I don't think there's going to be like a new console for Nintendo anytime soon, but there may be just like an upgrade for the Switch.
Right.
Yeah.
I have this to say about the PlayStation 5. First of all, it is pretty bulky. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the PS4.
People are saying it's going to be like the biggest like size console.
The tank,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, dude, the PS3 was pretty big, and so was the original Xbox. You can't be bigger than both of those.
But at the same time, when I was a kid, I wasn't complaining. The 360 was also a tank, so I'm not gonna. I'm really. That's not like a gripe of mine. I'm just addressing it. Yeah, not the biggest thing, but I do like just portability. So that's the thing. Like you said, about the slim. The controller. The controller is interesting to me. So I mean, it's been a while since I really used the controller exclusively because I have a PC now. But if you take a look at the D-pads, how are you gonna play fighting games on that thing? I don't know if you guys have seen the D-pad on that, but they're separated, like, for the most part. Even on the PS4, look, I actually have a PS4 on me right now. You can actually feel down, forward. But on here, it's like, they're all separate buttons. How's that gonna work? You know what I mean? And not only that, but apparently there's only one USB port.
Yeah, so yeah. Don't want us to play Street Fighter.
Well, looks like there's 2 of them. I think looks like one's a USB-C and then one's like a regular USB port, but I'm not sure. I need to take a closer look.
Right.
But looks like we're gonna need USB-C arcade sticks.
The wireless arcade sticks. Imagine! Oh my god!
Oh, no.
There'd be outrage. So okay, so there's that, and then the library. Resident Evil is a great series. I hope that does well. I also, what else was at launch? Demon's Souls was also at launch. I'm a huge Souls fan, so and yeah, maybe that would.
Is it launch?
I don't know if it's launch, but they did announce it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there wasn't enough like actual like windows for anything, because like the only thing that I remember seeing really having a window was Spider-Man, and that said holiday 2020. But it's like, well, if the PS5 doesn't actually launch holiday 2020, that's not gonna happen. So yeah, I don't know. There just wasn't enough information for me to get like really excited.
They're also boasting 120 FPS on like 1080 and 4K and 8K if I'm not mistaken as well. That's impressive. At 120 FPS, that's gonna look really nice. I'll believe it when I see it. That's all I gotta say about that one, because that's a lot better than a lot of PCs that like your average consumer has right now. And if that's true, I think that's great. I think it's good that consoles are moving in the direction where they're competing with PCs, because it's so normal now to have a computer. Ever since Fortnite blew up, All the kids want the hottest keyboards. They want a G Pro. Everyone wants a G Pro. Everyone wants the Ninja Mice, the Air Ninja Mice. Or I'm not a big peripheral guy, but yeah, they just want a really sweaty mouse. They want a really sweaty keyboard. They want a 144 hertz monitor. You name it, anything that streamers got, they want it. And and I hope console. I hope the competition is there, so the console step it up. That I would love to see it, because I have a PC, but I've always loved consoles. It's like where I got started, which where most of us got started, obviously, right? So yeah, I hope it. I hope that that Sony and Microsoft I hope they've been taking notes all this time. Dang, dude.
Speaking of Microsoft,
what's up?
Are they even gonna have, what is it, Xbox
Series X or
Series
something?
X.
Yeah, who knows?
The refrigerator, that's legitimately a computer. It's a tower. Like I'm not against it. I just think it's funny because it looks like a tower to me.
I haven't seen it. Oh wow.
Yeah, so for me, like, I'm not a big specs guy. Like, I don't even pay attention to all the specs, because at the end of the day, only thing that really matters is the game library. So, like, from what I can tell, the Xbox Series X and the PS5 basically have, like, very similar specs. And, like, I don't pay attention to PC enough to, like, really understand all that crap.
Right.
So it doesn't really, like, the specs part of it doesn't really bother me. It's just like, all right, what can the system do?
That's good. Yeah, that's good. A lot of your average consumer feels the same way, and at the end of the day, I feel the same way too. If the game is fun, please just play it. That's all I care. That's all I really care about. All I gotta say is that if it is in 120 FPS, all you gotta know is it's just gonna look buttery smooth, and I hope it does look buttery smooth, because everyone deserves it, if you ask me.
I don't know, though, that kind of stuff trips me out. Like, I hate the high hertz, super smooth movement. It's what I think they call it, the uncanny valley. It doesn't looks too real.
Yeah, it depends on what game you're playing. Like, fighting games is super important. It has all fighting games, at least these days, should be 60 FPS, because when you press the button, it matters when you press the input, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're pressing the button, it matters. Now, it doesn't really matter if you're playing something like something like The Last of Us or the Resident Evil, or just like a single player game. It's gonna look gorgeous. It doesn't really need to be super buttery smooth. It's a plus, but it's not necessary. And if anything, you probably won't even notice it, right? So it's not really a big. It just depends on what game you're playing.
Yeah. Speaking of Last of Us, though, Last of Us 2 comes out this week.
Dude, I didn't even play
on Friday.
Bro, I didn't even play The Last of Us 1, dude.
Oh, look at that! A classic you haven't played yet, huh?
That is a classic I haven't played yet. I'll get to it eventually. I've had plans.
Not on PC.
Not on PC, exactly. It's really not. So I'll get to that eventually. I'm still working on some games right now. All right. So moving on, yeah.
Yeah. So our next topic is something.
FGC news. All right, cool.
Yeah, FGC news. It's fresh. It just happened maybe a couple hours ago, and it's Filipino champ getting the indefinite ban from Capcom and all Capcom-related events. So those of you who aren't familiar with what happened, F-Champ made a tweet a couple days ago, very insensitive, and it was "Watermelon Lives Matter," and it was a picture of a watermelon. And like instantly everybody got on him on that. I believe East Coast Throwdown banned him. I saw Combo Breaker banned him. And then just a couple hours ago, Capcom hit him with the hardest ban I've ever seen.
Pretty hardcore.
Yeah. So what are you guys' thoughts on his actions and the sentence?
I think that well, first of all, I don't agree with it. It's a very, very, very classless. Definitely the wrong thing to say. No matter what, like what time it is. I know, like right now, especially right now, where the tension is very high. You know, a lot of the protesting is going on. Black Lives Matter is as big as ever right now. But even if none of this was happening, even like then, like it's extremely inappropriate. There's not really not really a place for this. Like it's just, yeah, I'm not really sure what the thought process there. But if you're asking me, I think that more thought should be put in general by everyone. Like more thinking needs to be applied when they talk about anything on social media, and that kind of thing is very insensitive. And this is why in professional, not professional, but in traditional sports leagues, NBA, MLB, NHL, you name it, right? Basketball, football, whatever. They have the athletes have PR teams, and you know some of the athletes even take PR classes, if not all of them. And essentially, they are taught not to do the stuff like this. Like it's crazy. It's crazy to me that it needs to be taught, but it also makes sense because I cannot. I say that now, but I myself, I'm not in the limelight. Neither you two. So we're not exactly in that predicament. So I think it's absolutely justified that people get PR training. But with esports being so new, all of these guys are in the spotlight, whether they like it or not. And all the players on Twitter, you know, all these kids,
Yeah,
adults that follow the scene, they see it, and that's definitely the wrong thing to say, man.
yeah, I think you brought up a good point because I mean we've all said something stupid or uninformed at one point in our lives, but when we started doing the MWG stuff, we had to cut that out immediately, and we're not even big time yet.
Absolutely, I agree. When you do anything that may potentially bring you into the limelight, anyone else is going to see your content. I think it's important to come to terms with just not saying certain things, you know, just being wary of what you bring up on social media, especially in this day and age where cancel culture is bigger than ever, you know, and people will bring up anything you say in the past.
Yeah, this is all I really have to say on it. First is read the room. Just be aware of like what's going on in the world right now. Like you said, it's just stupid time to make the stupid comment.
Yeah, exactly.
And not everything needs to be said. Like that was just stupid. Don't why are you gonna put that on the internet?
Right.
It's just
exactly. Yeah. It's a learning experience, you know, for a lot of us. You know, the internet has been booming for the last 20 years, but at the same time, at times it can feel new because certain things are blowing up. New concepts, you know, like Twitch, a streaming service. You know, that's still, if you're asking me, it's been around a couple of years, but it's still relatively new, in my opinion, because that industry is completely new to some people.
Yeah, 5 years ago, nobody knew what Twitch was, at least on the scale it is today.
Yeah, and now I was actually listening to one of Joe Rogan's podcasts, and this was from a couple years ago when a CS Pro Nothing went on his show to explain Twitch and the donations and the subscriptions, and Joe Rogan was absolutely blown away. I thought it was the most intriguing thing ever because he is, in the generation before us, and it was interesting to him. And that it's not just him; to a lot of people. Like if you were to explain Twitch, esports, social media culture to someone of the previous generation, they'd be baffled. That they'd say, "Man, we've come really far," and we really have. And a lot of this is new. And with esports being as new as it is, as fresh, and with everyone has the ability to interact with one another on Twitter, Facebook, you name it. You really got to read the room. You got to watch what you say. I mean, that's just what it is.
I think he read the room because, why else would he make a tweet about that? He knew what was going on. You don't randomly just buy a watermelon and you're like, oh, watermelon lives matter. People need to know this. Like, come on.
All I got to say is, well, actually, I do want to put this on record. I do want to share my opinion on this. I think that you guys might not agree with me, and that's completely okay. While I am completely against what he said, and it's just 100% not okay, I don't know if this kind of thing justifies a lifetime ban, because what if something more heinous I just feel like something that weighs a lot more might be justified, like a lifetime ban. But this, maybe a year ban, maybe even 2-year ban, maybe even 3-year ban, it's that'd be okay. But a lifetime ban is pretty serious, and a lot of these guys, this is their life, this is what they do, but that's just my opinion. I mean, if you're asking me, but I'm also not Capcom, I'm not Riot, I'm not any of these companies, and I'm sure those companies don't want to be associated with people that do this, and we did talk about this off stream or off the podcast, but maybe this will open a lot of people's eyes, and they'll see, oh, wow, there are consequences to what I say on the internet, and I really should tread lightly. So
I agree with what you're saying. Like, so it shouldn't be like, basically the punishment should fit the crime, and I don't see that it was a lifetime ban. I just seen that, at least for Capcom, it was an indefinite ban. So that's until they decide it's okay for him to come back.
Right.
Which to me, that's, that kind of makes sense, because it's just, again, like you said, this is something new, and they're still trying to learn things on the business side of things. So him being banned definitely makes sense, and people do need to, an example needs to be made, basically, so that they're the standard that's set. So he's one of the biggest Capcom players, at least from like the last couple of years.
Yeah, so, a lot of the FGC heads, we grew up watching this dude. Personally, I never had anything against this dude. When I watch him play, when I watch him play, his gameplay is definitely intriguing to me. But that's
he's good.
Oh yeah. Well,
that's all I'm gonna say. He's definitely a good player.
I'm gonna close off with this. Not just read the room, but just read the book in general. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, I'm sorry to hear it, but I just hope that many players just around the world learn from this experience.
And if you're on Twitter, you see people get canceled all the time. Starbucks just had like super backlash because them not letting employees wear BLM stuff, right. And they've reversed it like a day later. Like, come on, that's all I'm gonna say.
Reading the book is important.
Read the book. Well, hopefully, indefinite just means a 1-year ban, but if it extends past that, I mean, that's a very strong message.
And it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
So, into some more lighter topics.
Excuse me. Are we jumping into main topic? What's going on?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, it's time.
Main topic. So, who wants to start on the classic games that they missed out on?
So, how many did y'all pick?
Well, I have a list.
Oh, you have a list? Dude, honestly, last week, I was super prepared. This week, not so much. But what I do have, I have 3 different tabs right here. All greatest hits, 3 different Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. We're in there, baby. I'm not gonna give you the whole thing, but I'm just gonna see anything that stands out to me, and I'm gonna give you like I missed some of these things. So go ahead, guys. You guys can lead us off.
Well, not gonna lie, I used the same list. It was greatest games of all time, but that list was trash. Like, they had Fortnite at 30. Fortnite deserves, 70 to 50. It belongs somewhere there.
Fortnite has clout, man.
Yeah.
Fortnite has a lot of clout right now, so.
Yeah, but that's just right now, and it's already like dwindling, and it's only been 3 years.
Fortnite changed an industry, so to say that I don't play it, but to say that it doesn't deserve its clout.
Well, I mean, top 50, but not number 30. That's too high for me. Like, when you got, like, it had Miss Pac-Man as number 2. Like,
yeah, I think I looked at that list too.
I think it's a little crazy.
I think the older video games get, the more people will I promise you, people will phase out Pac-Man and Galaga and and Super Mario, even Super Mario Brothers. Isn't that crazy? One day we're gonna live in a world where those lists will be revised, and those might actually get lower and lower. And which what that means is all this is just subjective, and it always will be.
It's always subjective, but I think there are certain industry standards that won't ever really disappear because of how important they are to gaming. Like Miss Pac-Man or Pac-Man, either or. I think those will always be in the space. Same with any Super Mario Brothers game, whether it's 1, 3, or World.
I think it's because how monumental they are, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
they made a game.
There's always going to be like Legends of Zelda on there, whether it's Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, or the original. There's always going to be like some of these staple games on all of those lists because they're too important for them not to be.
Well, I have this to say. Hopefully they recognize that, because I cannot wait. And when in 10 years from now, when we listen to this exact episode and we see that Fortnite is like number 2.
Okay, if Fortnite's number 2, I'm willing to make a 10-year bet. I don't care. Fortnite is number 2. What should I put on the line though? Fortnite ever up as like top 10 games.
Yeah, top 10. I was gonna say top 10 because that's top 10 is a lot more lax right there. I think top 10. I'll be surprised if it cracks top 10.
So 2030, if any list throughout the whole year says that, lunch is on me. How about that?
I want steak dinners.
Steak dinners it is.
All right, put it on record, boys. 10 years we listen to this podcast. We gotta check out those lists.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So why don't you guys lead us off? I think I have an idea of what specific games I want to talk about, but I need a little time to put my list together.
Okay.
All right, well, I missed a whole bunch of series, so I'm just.
Oh, dude,
I'll just go series-wise for a couple of them. But I'll start with Final Fantasy. In general, like I haven't really played any of them, and I've talked about this a bit over the last couple of weeks. But I didn't grow up with any RPG besides Pokemon. So FF7 was big. FF8, like a lot of my friends talk about both of those games. Like for a lot of my friends, that's their one of their favorite games, either 7 or 8. I missed 9. I played 10. But like 3, which I heard is really good. 6, I think, is another one. Like I missed out on all of them, and I want to go back and play them, but it's just so many games to play.
So many games, too little time.
You could skip some.
Kept me. Yeah, but either way, like there's still going to be like 40-hour plus games, and I have to read all the text. If I were to go back and play the original version, it's just like I don't know if I have the attention span for that right now.
I feel you there, brother. I know that feel.
Oh yeah, I can't play RPGs anymore.
You know how hard it is for me to sit through, dude. For Fire Emblem, while I did have a blast, it took me 80 hours to beat that game. For one playthrough, there are like at least 3 different ones, assuming you do all 3.
I think there's at least 4.
There's 4. Okay, there's 4 then. That's wild.
And I've done 3 of the 4. The first one took me like 60-something hours for some reason.
Yeah.
But the other ones were way longer than that.
Yeah. I'm working on The Witcher 3 right now, and I'm telling you right now, I'm having a blast, by the way. But you really have to set the time. You can set aside some time. Because the way Witcher 3 plays, it pretty much is an RPG, but it's like an action RPG. And playing an RPG with like walls of text thrown at you.
Yeah,
you gotta sit down. That's all I gotta say. You gotta sit down.
Speaking of action RPG.
Hold on. I'm actually just gonna bundle all of the Square Enix RPGs into that one spot.
That's fair.
So Vagrant Story, Chrono Trigger, all that, Secret of Mana, all those are in there. Like all of my friends grew up playing those and talking about it, and those are one of the games. Like I miss like all of those. So yeah.
Unfortunate, man. But we gotta work with what we get. We can't have everything. Even now, as adults, we're as close as we'll ever get to wanting everything. But it's funny because now that we can afford to, now that we have income to supply our passion, our hobby, act like we have the time to even to even play everything. Well, we don't. Real life gets in the way of every time, and it is what it is.
Man, I feel that because Streak of the Mana just came out on what was it? Switch.
PS4, I think?
Yeah, PS4 and Switch. And Chrono Trigger, it's been floating around. You can buy it, and I've just been looking at it. I'm like, yeah, no thanks.
And like I have the Super Nintendo Mini and Chrono Trigger, and I think Final Fantasy 3 are both on there. I'm like, I'll pass. Maybe one day.
Hey, maybe one day. Retirement?
Yeah, maybe.
Not a bad idea. We just gotta get Nintendo and all those cats to get on board and release stuff where it's accessible to us.
It's gotta have extra big text.
Oh man, that's funny, man. You have anything else? Anything else, Moss? Is that it for you?
I thought we were gonna like alternate. I have a whole list of stuff that I can go through that I haven't played yet.
All right,
if we're gonna take turns, then I'll hold off.
Yeah, we can take. Yeah, we could do that. I actually kind of like that format. So what I do
will probably overlap.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know what? Now since Moss has brought that up, I'm just gonna go ahead and bring that up too. I actually have Final Fantasy on my list as well, as well as the other RPGs that exist. Because again, I did not have PlayStation growing up, and that was the hub for RPGs back in the day. It was, you had your Final Fantasies, you had your Chrono Triggers, you had all that. You had
Super Nintendo. So it was like the Super Nintendo and the PlayStation 1 and 2, but as far as like 90s goes, those two were like the main RPG consoles, and I didn't have a Super Nintendo, and then the PlayStation 1, those weren't games that I like even really knew about.
I'm not even gonna mention all the obscure Japanese titles, JRPGs that existed, because my friends be name dropping some hella obscure titles that I've never even heard of. I'm just like, you guys are actually crazy, and I'm a fool for missing out, and I should have set up a lemonade stand or something because I bought myself a PlayStation. I missed out. I really did. So that's just me piggybacking. But one of the games I feel like I did, or at least one of the branches of gaming I want to say that I missed out on is I never really got to participate in the RuneScape and the MapleStory era and a lot of those games, the WoW. And that's something I'm kind of sad that I didn't really get to experience because people have a lot of stories just playing, most in particular RuneScape and MapleStory. My friends talk about that all the time, and I have no idea what you're talking about because I didn't have a computer whatsoever growing up. I had access to one, but I never really used it to game because I had consoles growing up. So I did not use my computer for that, and I never got to grind for things. I never got to work on my fishing skills like everyone's talking about RuneScape. I never got to flex my cosmetics on MapleStory, which I guess was the point of the game. My friends swear by that. All the grinding, all the 2D scrolling. They're like, "You want to know what that was for?" I was like, "What?" And they're just like, "For the gear." And I was like, "Oh man, you guys are actually wild!" Like, and those stories are funny to me.
Hey, didn't you play MapleStory?
Man, I'm still playing MapleStory this whole week.
I remember Aaron used to play that game too.
You heard it here, boys.
Yeah, I'll hop back on that.
You and Aaron should stream MapleStory.
Oh no, he plays the new one, PSO2.
Oh.
He's really into
that.
But
he used to play MapleStory though.
No, he played what's the one? It's damn it. All right, give me a second. I got to do a Google search real quick.
But yeah, to piggyback on Carl a little bit, PC games got a whole list of those too, like D2. I'm just gonna list or lump those together too, of like the MMO type of games. Since you mentioned WoW, yeah, WoW and D2 I didn't play, but my friends played the hell out of those games. I got friends that didn't graduate high school on time because of WoW. Yeah,
that's wild. That actually brings me to my next point. Now that I think about it, it's also a huge time sink, and I'm gonna be completely honest here. I was not the most productive person in school. Well, I did graduate and I did finish school in general. I didn't really work hard. I actually could have. Definitely underachieved the whole time. I don't want to say it's solely because of gaming. Because it was me. But I think if I had used my time to play MMOs, RuneScape, MapleStory. I mean, I'm not talking about like casually playing it. I'm talking about really, really playing it. Like you really just sit there. That's all you do. You never know. I could have easily gone that route, and I really don't fault anyone for doing that because, I mean, those games are addictive, and I can't even. They're designed that way, and I'm not mad at it. It is what it is. You are in control of what you do. But I could have easily fallen in that trap. But with that being said, I still do wish I could have experienced it because a lot of my friends have some great stories.
Yeah, well, I did play MMOs back then, and it's different now. Like MapleStory, this week they had an event. Every time you gain a level, you gain 2 bonus levels. And
wow.
Yeah, back in the day, it would take a whole month or maybe even a couple months to get to level 30 in your second job. You could do that in an hour today.
That's wild. They say the new WoW is more or less similar to that kind of, or I mean, all I know is, again, I'm not an MMO expert. In fact, I'm not even a casual MMO person. But what I do know is in WoW Classic, you had to put in the work. That's all I know. That's all I know.
The grind was fun. Like, you look back on it, it's like, man, those were some great times. But when it was going on, it was like, damn, I gotta wait.
It was not some great times.
That was a job back then.
For real.
It's always about the journey, boys. Never about the destination.
You couldn't get to the destination back then.
That's funny. That's how they got you. You know the time cards. Mm-hmm. What is it? The play cards.
The Nexon points.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
Oh man, I remember people used to get in trouble. Like, yeah, I snuck off to 7-Eleven and bought hella.
That's so funny.
But Aaron used to play Ragnarok Online. That was the one he played.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. My bad.
Yeah.
That's really funny. I wonder
we used to make fun of him because he wasn't playing. Well, I don't remember. Anyhow.
That's funny.
Fun times.
I mean, if you think about it, that kind of thing is always going to be around in gaming culture. I'm sure the same thing applies to the... Oh my goodness, what's that called? Just like the V-Bucks in Fortnite.
Oh,
that was the subject of controversy for quite a while. I'm not really surprised. I think microtransactions, purchasing anything for the game that you already own / are playing will always be a thing. It's just gonna come at you in new ways 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now. Naj, yeah, so what about a game? What about you? Any classics you feel like you missed out on?
So, classics that I missed out on would be the God of War series and the Dark Souls series. I never played either one.
The God of War, dude, me too, man. I missed out on God of War. I watch the playthroughs every now and then. Not the whole thing, obviously, but I like skim through it. Those look like a blast. That genre in general, the hack and slash, I forget how much fun it is. And the cinematics that go into that game are really impressive. And the detail, even with the graphics at the time, pretty explicit and entertaining.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I tried the demo in God of War, and he was just running around swinging those chains like it was nothing.
It's fun to watch. The new one's really, really good. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, so I've basically played all of the God of War games except for, I think, one of the PSP ones. which I heard is like the better of the PSP ones, but I didn't have a PSP, so whatever. Really good games, I think. Like the story probably would have been a lot better if it was like a consistent director. But yeah, the first three on PS2, or no, the first two on PS2 and the third one was on PS3. Really good. Like one of my favorite series of all time. And then the new one is fantastic. That would have been like at least teased at the PS4 event. Oh, or the PS5 event, sorry. That would have been all I needed, and the event would have been fantastic. That's how good the last God of War game was.
I got to try it out then.
I have it if you want to borrow it.
The newest one?
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to play the old ones, or can I just hop in right there?
You can hop in. It's kind of like a new start to the series. There's like callbacks to the old stuff, but it shouldn't take away from your enjoyment of this game.
All I know is I didn't play the game, and I read the plot summary on Wikipedia, but I forgot most of it. But I was entertained when I was doing it. All I know is I know what happens in the ending, and all I gotta say, Moss, is that is wild, and you should definitely play the game, Nash.
Right. Like, I don't mind spoilers because like I'm a Wikipedia guy, kind of guy too.
I feel like calling myself a Wikipedia guy, I think that's an understatement because I spend way too much time on that website. I spoil so many things for me. It's unhealthy. It's actually a surprise when I don't spoil things. That's why I was happy when I was playing. What was I playing? When I was playing Fallen Order recently, Star Wars. I didn't know about the stuff that's happening in that game, so I was happy about that. What else did I not get spoiled on? Otherwise, I swear I spoil everything for myself, and it's awful. The Witcher 3, I have absolutely nothing about, so I'm happy about that. I have no plans to look up anything. But aside from that, film, books, short stories, video games for sure, all that. Anything with a plot, I am intrigued with, and I need to know what happens. And what's funnier is I'll read the whole plot summary and be completely astounded, and I'll just forget about it unless I read it like 30 times. And there are articles I've read 30 times on Wikipedia.
Oh man, so you're dedicated then. You got the grind going on there.
Yeah, sometimes I'll open my phone. I just have 10 tabs of Wikipedia open. I can even bring it up right now. You know what? That's off subject. Or what were you saying? Moss, did you had another game on your list, yeah?
Oh yeah. So I was looking at that, and Castlevania Symphony of the Night is one of those classics that I missed out on. Like that's like one of the most, highly received games. It's like critically received really well, and I heard like the best of the Castlevania series, and I missed out on it. Again, it was just one of those games on PS1 that I wasn't really aware of, and like nobody in my family was playing any of those, so missed out on it. But like my friends tell me how good of a game it is, and it's really worth playing. And they re-released it, I think, on the PS4, but I haven't gotten it, and I probably won't, if I'm being honest. But yeah, one of those classic games I missed out on.
That's the truth. I definitely missed out on those games as well. Very beloved in the gaming community. A lot of the old school players, they remember that game. So any game that gets like an anime or a show on Netflix, I think it's fair to say they've made an impact on our culture.
Oh yeah.
Wait, Naj, did you say that you said the Dark Souls series? Yeah.
Yeah. So I've heard about it. I've seen the memes, but I've never played it.
I gotta say, man, I actually played Dark Souls 1 late. I think I was 18, 19. I guess not that late, but I played it late. At the time, it was late. All I gotta say is, I really hope you're patient, because there's only one. I played all the. No, actually, that's a lie. I've now played Demon's Souls. That was all because I was on PlayStation 2. I think I was on PlayStation 2. Dark Souls 1, I got it on Xbox Live because it was very cheap. Either it was on sale or it was free. I forget. And Dark Souls 2 and 3, I got on Steam eventually. But I've only finished one Souls game, and it's Dark Souls 1. And I have to tell you, Nash, It's the same. It was the same for me at 18 then. Same for me now. You gotta sit down, and you gotta be okay with losing over and over and over again. And even worse is you have to also get used to the fact that you even know why you're losing, and you're still losing. That's what I gotta say about Dark Souls. Don't get me wrong. Dark Souls is one of the best games I've ever played. I played all 3 of them, but I've only finished one. It's one of the best games I've ever played. But I'll tell you right now, the only thing that's good about beating Dark Souls is telling people you finished Dark Souls, and that's it. That's it, dude.
Oh man, well, if I have to sit there and lose, I'm already used to that, man. I play Smash online, I play League online. This is nothing new.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Naj. At least in Dark Souls, there's no all chat. This is AI. No one's gonna teabag you in the match. No one's gonna flame you for missing 1 Q, missing all. Like it's it's just you.
But if you stream yourself playing though, the comments about to go in.
Man, Dark Souls 1, Naj. Oh my goodness, you should have seen me. There are so many times I just threw my 360 controller. I'm that guy. I really not anymore, but back in the day, I was definitely doing that. And I got to give props to Microsoft too, because that controller is really sturdy.
But yeah, Demon Souls is getting released on PS5, remastered, and it looks super nice. And Bloodborne it's like a similar game, but I think it's PlayStation exclusive. That was free on PS5 or PS4. Like I think a year ago, maybe. Yeah. So, you might be able to, if you got it added to your catalog, you might be able to go play that. Similar enough experience.
Full disclosure, guys, I'm probably still never gonna have any of these games played.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, pretty much. But I do want to say this though. I really do feel like Dark Souls should be at least a game at least try, because it actually really is fun, and when you do progress, it's really satisfying. That's all I gotta say.
All right. So I think we should each do one more that we missed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a little more modern with this one. I miss BioShock.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did too. I have the collection sitting in my Steam. I bought that.
Same.
I bought that in 2014, I think. I finished BioShock 1, and that's it.
Oh, you finished one of them? See, I didn't play any of them. Like, I think BioShock 2 was free on PS3 with through PSN, and I think the collection might have been free on PS4, and I haven't downloaded them.
Right.
I played the commercial. Like, I was on repeat.
That's all you can do at one point.
Yeah. Dude, I love that commercial. Like, it was just hype. Got the classic Somewhere Under the Sea song going on. It just, ooh, I'm about to watch it right now.
Yeah, and again, another set of games that were really well received, and I just critically acclaimed games that I never got around to playing. So,
Nash?
All right, so GTA, that's my deep dark secret.
Really?
My parents banned it. They said you cannot play that.
Yo, that's actually why it makes sense, and I'm actually okay with that, because I'm gonna be honest here, it's the logical thing to do. And if you were a kid and you had GTA, you were just fortunate.
No, I wasn't a kid though. I was 15. And the worst part is the kid down the street, he was 10. And we would go and play video games in his garage, right? And we'd always try to sneak GTA. And all the parents would be like, what are you playing in there?
That's funny.
He had it, but I never played.
And they were snitching.
GTA is fun, man. I actually got I got a funny story about that. Not a long story.
Those games did not age well, though. Control-wise and graphically, they did not age well.
Okay, I was about to say, you're right about that. I think control-wise and graphically, it's a yes. However, the story, at least the San Andreas one, is timeless. That story is gold.
Yeah, San Andreas was great.
Right.
San Andreas as a game was a great game.
but it is ugly though. I'm not gonna lie.
It's hard to play. Like trying to go back and play any of like the PS2 era GTA games, so hard to do.
It's very unaesthetic.
I beat Vice City and I beat San Andreas, and I would never attempt to go back and play those again.
You know what's funny is San Andreas. I could definitely go back and play again, but I totally feel you on this. It's not very aesthetically pleasing. I'm not gonna lie. It's just the truth. I just value the plot so much, and I really do think it's just fun to play a sandbox.
The voice acting was really good in that game too.
Yeah, I think
Sam Jackson was a villain.
Classic, man. Naj, I don't blame your parents at all for banning that in your household. Yeah. Just real quick, funny story about that is I remember my uncle said that he would get me something for my birthday. He's like, yeah, dude, just go to GameStop real quick, dude. And I knew my parents were definitely not gonna buy me GTA. And I was like, he's like, hey, which game, dude? I saw GTA San Andreas. I was like, hey, this one, bud. And he goes, doesn't even blink. He's like, all right. I don't even think he knows what he was doing. I came home, I was ecstatic because I'd only played it on the PS2 at my other uncle's house. And I was like, yo, I'm playing GTA, dude. I'm definitely not supposed to be playing this. And I took it home, played it. One of the best games I've ever played. All I gotta say is a lot of my sense of humor definitely it comes from a lot of, or just my I don't know, just my how I communicate, how I perceive things, my sense of humor. It all comes from gaming in general. But GTA is so good at that with the satirical content, and that kind of content is definitely reflects like off of my personality. Everything in there is like super sarcastic. I think you'd love it, Naj. The sense of humor is timeless. If you were asking me, like it's very a lot of social commentary, and a lot of the people that hate the game, you can tell they've never played the game because it's the truth. Because a lot of that humor in there, they're obviously not advocating for any of the things they do in there, but it's just super. It's super satirical. It's super exaggerated, and it's the point you laugh, and then you're like, "Huh, that sounds like real life." Like that's kind of concerning. Like why? Like, and that's the point of the game. But a lot of the people that argued against it, especially parents, and I totally get that. I'm not even gonna, shame them for that. I don't blame them. But that was the point, though. It was all satire, and it reminds me of some of the tweets you see on Twitter these days. Like it was GTA. So.
All right, so Carl, what was your last series that you haven't played?
I gotta pick one from my very small list, but Metal Gear Solid. I didn't get to play Metal Gear Solid growing up. Again, I didn't have a PlayStation, so didn't play 1, didn't play 2, didn't play any of those. I don't know. Okay, that's good to know. I don't know who Solid Liquid Snake are. I don't know what.
2 on YouTube. That's what I did.
I never got to play it. I have Metal Gear Solid 5 on the Steam. That's a wonderful game. That game it's a little too open world, but it's a great game. There's so much to do. The possibilities are literally endless. I'm actually surprised. I remember I vaguely recall playing Metal Gear Solid 5, and because of there's so much freedom, I'm not very creative. So when I'd like try to do a mission and complete stealth, I spent an hour just in one area, just prone or doing something really sneaky, just to get exposed. And I was like, "What did I even do this for? What did I even accomplish?" And I just tell myself over and over again, it's the journey, it's not the destination. As I X out the game, I just play something else. That was the Metal Gear Solid experience for me. But I have no doubts that it was a great game because every time I see gameplay, it's super satisfying and definitely a milestone in game, definitely a monumental game in our culture.
Metal Gear Solid 1 has like a special place in my heart because that was like one of those games on PS1 that I played through over and over again. Yeah. Like I feel like I can go back and play the original Metal Gear Solid 1, not like the old Metal Gear games, but like Metal Gear Solid I can go back and play. Like I think to this day I can go play it, and It's on the PlayStation Classic, which I have now, so I'm gonna go and probably play that eventually because it's such a fun game. And like,
the gas
Kojima really has like creativity in the way he makes his games.
the gas was too good. That's that same
Oh
gas.
yeah,
I'll be giving that same gas for other people too. I'm like, really? Like I'm disgusted almost.
but like, as far as plot wise, Metal Gear Solid 5 is kind of irrelevant. I didn't finish it, but I don't think it was necessary. 4 pretty much tied up the series pretty well.
Right.
So I was like, oh, why make this game?
Would you say it's convoluted? Would you say it's convoluted almost?
I didn't finish 5, but the story in general was pretty convoluted. But 4 did like a really good job of tying it all up in a nice, pretty bow.
That's good. I'm glad an attempt was made and the effort was put in. That's good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you gotta be careful because like there's some people Kojima can do no wrong.
I think everybody kind of agrees that the story for Metal Gear Solid is very convoluted, and there's like too many plot threads that you have to follow.
Wait, hold on. So you're telling me Death Stranding is not godlike?
Amazon Simulator?
Wait. What simulator?
Amazon Simulator?
Yeah, what do you mean? The box?
Yeah, you got delivery guy, man.
You're not trying to carry that box for hours?
You got to deliver all them packages, man.
It's about the atmosphere. What do you mean? I read that, back to Wikipedia, I remember reading the plot summary for Death Stranding, and at the end of it, I was just like, what did I just read? What's happening, dude? All I know is that Daryl from The Walking Dead is carrying this box, and multiple boxes at that, and
the baby in his backpack. Like, what the hell?
So much happening. Like, what's going on? That's so funny. You want to close?
Yeah, like.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, just going back to Metal Gear because I really love that series.
I don't blame you, man.
Yeah, so the timeline is like Metal Gear Solid 3 it should be like the first game in the series, as far as like timeline goes. And then there's like 2 PSP games. There's the NES games. Then there's Metal Gear Solid 1. Then 2, 4, and 5 fits like in between Metal Gear Solid, the PSP games, and the NES games. So it's like if you actually want to get the full story of that, it's ridiculous.
One day I'm gonna, because I actually did this for Final Fantasy VII a couple weeks ago, maybe like a month or two ago, where I just listened to the entire plot of Final Fantasy VII. I was doing laundry and I was listening to it. I sat through the whole thing. I think I'm gonna do the same thing for Metal Gear Solid.
I don't need a couple
Have a notepad.
You need a couple weeks. The video's like 3 hours long. Might as well listen.
It's probably gonna be longer than that, to be honest.
That's a tragedy, if you ask me.
And I feel like Kingdom Hearts would be just as long.
Yeah, let's not. I don't think an attempt will ever be made for that for me. No thanks, dude. So one last thing, just really quick. I just wanted to, because speaking of Kojima, you guys remember that Silent Hill game that was popping? Yeah. That was popping back at the demo. That was popping.
Yeah,
dude, I heard that's scary.
Did you play it, Moss? Nah, did you play that?
No,
I watched it. I couldn't play it.
The hell no, I'm not playing that. I don't play horror games at all. But when I seen some of when I just seen the general atmosphere of the game, just the slow pace, oh my goodness, the disturbing imagery in the game, I'm like, I didn't even watch it. I'm not watching that. Are you crazy? That video's cursed.
Yeah, I don't do horror like that either.
Hell no.
So I skipped out on it. That was like actually one of the other titles I was gonna bring up with Silent Hill, another series I didn't play. But yeah, I wish I would have downloaded that because people were selling the PS4s for a hell of money if it had that game installed on it.
Oh man, terrifying. Absolutely not. All right, so closing, yeah.
Wait, Nosh?
Yeah.
No, okay. So biggest gaming regrets.
Yeah.
I'll lead off with this one just because I brought it up. So for me, mine is it's not like a super big one, but it's one that like bothered me as I got older. Was trading in my PS1 and N64 and all the games that I had with them.
Oh man, I didn't know about that. It happens.
Yeah, that was definitely a learning experience. And like looking back on it, what really pissed me off is that I only traded in like I think I traded in all my PS1 stuff, and I only got one GameCube game out of it. Which, yeah.
What was the game? What was the game?
Bloody Roar Primal Fury was fun as hell, but it wasn't worth trading in all of my PS1 stuff for it.
Wait, what was the game again, Moss?
Bloody Roar.
Oh, Bloody Roar.
Okay.
Oh man,
Yeah,
okay.
on the GameCube.
Okay.
So Bloody Roar on the GameCube was the game I ended up getting, which we played the hell out of. So, but it's like all of my PS1 games, and I had a pretty like stacked library. Well, not stacked, but it was a pretty good library, and a lot of the games that I had on it ended up being like worth more money now. So like Bust Groove, I think is like a $50+ game now used, and I had 1 and 2. I had like all the Crash games, a whole bunch of other games, and then like for N64, I don't know what I did with that. What I got rid of it for? Oh, I had Digimon on there too, which is another game that went up in price. N64 had Pokemon Stadium, and No Mercy. I don't think I had, but that was like one of the best games on the N64 anyway. And just like, dang, shouldn't have gotten rid of either of those consoles. And ever since then, I haven't traded it in games really. So I still have my PS2 and the library for it, and the same thing with my PS3 and PS4.
Hey Moss.
What's up?
You traded to GameStop?
Yeah. Oh no! Sorry, no. It wasn't GameStop yet. It was EV Games. EV Games in the mall next to you.
Yo, I knew it too. As soon as you said I traded all that in for Bloody Roar, I said, "That's GameStop, wasn't it?"
Yeah.
It's all good, dude. They're
learning experience, man.
And everyone, I think everyone does that eventually. I don't know if I did that, but basically everyone I know pretty much did that at one point. And yeah.
Oh yeah, my brother did the same thing, and he had like a crazy Dreamcast library. He had so many games, and like it's games that I can't even like find now. Gone. It's like, dude, this is freaking waste.
Shout outs to GameStop.
I hate them sometimes.
Oh man. Naj, what's up? You got any gaming regrets?
Yeah, it was season 1 or season 2 of League of Legends, and I never hit the rank queue. I should have done it.
You talking about solo queuing?
Yeah, like back then, right? MOBAs were new. I had all the Dota experience. I could have just won off of Blitz. Just Blitzcrank alone with the hook. Nobody knew how to dodge it. Nobody knew how to sidestep. People used to be telling me all kinds of stupid stuff like Alistar's a bad champion because he has 2 stuns. Like nobody knew how to play, and I didn't hit the rank queue.
Oh man! So what kept you from hitting the rank queue?
I don't know. I don't know if I was nervous or if I just thought, oh, why am I wasting my time there? Or
right.
Maybe, I don't know. I just never hit it.
It happens, man. We all have certain things we wish we can go back on. I know for me with ranked, just right now, I don't know about back then, but if you ask me now, I'm so competitive. But if I even think about ranked right now, there's some days where I'm completely open to it. Yeah, why not? I got some friends, sure. But right now, if you try to ask me to solo queue in anything, oh my god, it takes so much mental energy. Like I would, if you were asking 26-year-old me as to why you didn't rank queue, I would understand. I'd be like, dude, I understand, dude. I don't know if I'm maybe I am nervous or anxious, but I'm not trying to deal with that. I'm not trying to deal with that. But yeah, Najee, it happens, man. You had the Dota experience, huh? So you've been playing, you were playing MOBAs the whole time.
Oh yeah, I was playing them before when you'd have to call it Warcraft 3 because nobody knew what a Dota was.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't even as much toxicity back then.
I bet it was a new game. I'm sure everyone was excited to play it. Excited there was a community developing for it. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
What about now, though, Nash?
Now I have to get paid to rank because it's too much work. Like everybody caught up. All those skills I used to have, nah, it doesn't matter.
Oh man, you miss one cue you're throwing.
Oh yeah, they rage so hard now.
That's really funny, man. That's not. I never played MOBAs and stuff growing. You know what, Naz, what's funny about that is when I was growing up, I actually, yeah. So my friend, I actually met one of my best friends to this day because of League of Legends, which is funny because I didn't play it then. I don't play it now. But he asked me, "Hey, you have a Skype?" I was like, "Nah." He's like, "Hey, make a Skype. Let's play League of Legends." I said, "Okay." I gotta say, dude, this should be a whole nother discussion one day. But I actually completely dislike MOBAs. I don't like them at all. I think I told you in case of that. I don't want to say I hate MOBAs, but I think I hate MOBAs, dude. I really do. I'm sad that I feel this way, but this is me personally. I think MOBAs, if you're asking me, Dota and League are great games. Heroes of New Earth, whatever, this Smite, whatever.
No, not all of them. Not all of them.
Is that another discussion too? I feel like it's another discussion. So, don't get me wrong. If I'm talking objectively, I think those are great games because there's a lot of teamwork, a lot of mind games, a lot of things you need to know. But for me, though, I just feel like it's overwhelming for me. Even back then, when I was 18 and I had so much time, it felt overwhelming to me back then. I feel the same way now, and I'm like, there's some people that are completely okay with having holes in their knowledge, and that's okay as long as you're having fun. You know what I mean? Who cares, right? Who cares if top lane missed the queue and they died on accident, or who cares if jungle messed up a gank for you once? You know what I mean? As long as that's my philosophy now, at least. Like, you're having fun, whatever. It's just a game. But to me, it was overwhelming. I was like, dude, I don't know if I can. So my friends all went on to play that. I couldn't do it.
You got to play with us. Like, oh man, we'll carry you. Don't worry. You're gonna make it. You're gonna think, damn, this is the easiest game ever.
MF?
Yeah. That Kaiser supports you. Like that's the S tier support.
Wait, Kaiser plays. He main support?
Oh yeah.
Who do you main?
I mean, lately, his old school main was Leona, but lately, who's he been playing? It was some healer.
This answer is so important.
All right, let me see the.
Okay, this is funny. I really do want to know what Kaiser plays. This is hilarious.
Oh no, it was Nautilus and Senna.
Oh, he is wild. I gotta ask him. I gotta ask Kaiser next time I see him. I go, hey, Nautilus.
Yeah.
Be honest. Does he think he's you think he's got like his support?
Oh yeah.
That's funny. I think that's healthy, dude. I gotta have a conversation with Kaiser about being support, man. That's funny. You have anything else, Nash?
No, that's it.
All right.
Regret.
I thought about this for a while today, and I think something I do regret is I regret attempting to travel to play fighting games. Not far, but just at least being a lot more active, or just taking the time to go to an event, maybe hit up one of my friends, say, hey, let's go to this. If you asked me back then, it was like, oh yeah, so I could compete. I could beat Ricky Ortiz, dude. I could beat PR Balrog, easy clap, dude. Yo, Sanford Kelly, free, dude. If you're asking me, I was an idiot back then, dude. But the real reason why I regret this is because I just feel like I would have had fun making those memories at an event. This is why Fully Charged means so much to me, because the community is so cool, and we tend to have hilarious moments, some of the greatest moments we'll ever have, just sitting in front of the screen and talking and just seeing the things we do in game. And there are some things you just never forget. I feel like as a kid, if I had made more attempts to go out, I would have had a blast. I would have met more people, made more memories, more Ultra 2s with Geef. It would have been. I would have had. I do regret it, but at the same time, the scene wasn't very strong here, which is why we're here today doing what we're doing. The scene wasn't very strong back in the day, and anytime Austin hit me with the, hey, me and Sam are trying to go to Max Cancel, right? And oh yeah, it's in Modesto. Or was it Manteca? Modesto?
Manteca.
You're trying to go Manteca? I said, okay, let's go. And I remember at the time, I didn't even know what it was. I was just like, dude, I just want to play Street Fighter. That just sounds fun, right? So I have nobody to play with. I went over to Max Cancel. I was thinking like, dang, I have no idea what this is. I'm excited. The first thing that happened, we pull up. It's a complex, right? And they're like, oh, yo, we got to park. It's going to be hard to find parking. At this point, I'm like, what's happening, dude? I've never done this before, right?
The parking.
You want the parking, dude?
Yeah.
I go upstairs. It's an apartment. And I'm like, yo, this is the best thing ever. It's an apartment. At the time, I didn't know.
So you thought it was going to be like a tournament?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be at the time, I wasn't aware of like the venues we were working with. And my venue.
Bro, at 6 o'clock at night?
Going back Cancel, it was the apartment. That was hilarious. And I had a blast every time I went. Only because I just love fighting games so much. I just wanted to play with other people. I played with I went out to every time there was locals at the vape shop, like the 2 or 3 they held there, I went every time.
I miss all those.
Yeah, you miss. Yeah, it's all good. It happens. You know what I mean? But those were fun.
I want to go. I don't know why I miss them. But yeah, like, dude, local sessions are always hella fun.
Yeah, they really are. And now that I have this new perspective I've developed this new perspective in gaming over the last 2-3 years. I just want to go, like, just because it's just fun. I just like meeting new people. I like learning something new. I like spectating. If I lose, I'll be salty, but I don't care about it the next day. I have more important things to worry about. Yeah, but that's one regret I have. And the one day when I have children of my own, if they share this interest with me, I'm going to encourage them to do what I didn't do. And if they don't, that's okay too. But I'm definitely going to encourage them to just go out in general, So that's my regret.
Well.
Wait, hold on. Naj, did you you went to Max Cancel, right?
I knocked my headphones off.
Oh, and I thought he was giving me that silence like, yo, I did not go to Max Cancel.
No, I knocked my headphone out.
You went to Max Cancel, right?
Oh, yeah. I always enjoyed it.
Yeah,
but the parking was the toughest part. Like,
yeah.
Did I not meet you there? Did I not meet you, Nas? Because I met Mossta there, but I didn't really meet him. We
played a couple matches.
Yeah, we were acquainted. I just knew who you were because you knew Austin. Yeah, but
I grabbed a couple times, and I was salty, so we didn't really meet that day.
Yeah. A couple times. You press a button from half screen, and just you see the animation come up for some reason.
Get on my limbs.
Okay, that's fair, right? Nas, did you show up to this? No, never mind. Ian doesn't like Smash, right?
No, it was a struggle. Like maybe once a year, he'd let me play.
That's funny. You guys got to tell me next time at least some Mac Kansas stuff because I think I only went like twice or 3 times. So, but yeah. So Street Fighter 4 then you played, right, Nash?
Oh yeah, 4.
Classic, dude.
Yeah, I miss it.
Me too, dude. Me too. Yeah. So you gonna close us out? You gonna take us out?
Yeah. All right. So, that's the podcast for this week. Stay tuned for next week. I'm not sure what our topics will be, but, it will always be interesting. And it was good hearing from you guys from what games you've missed out and what some of your gaming related regrets are. So if you're tuning in, please let us know what are some of your gaming regrets and what classic games have you not played or, which games should you suggest to us? So this is the MWG Podcast and I'm Whispering Tears.
I am Westsidious. Oh, whoa. We we need some practice, boys. Is that what we did? The execution?
All right.
Told you I have bad execution, man.
Yeah, I think me too, dude.
All right, well, we'll get the combo down next week, but it's Whispering Tears, Westsidious, and Mossta, and we'll catch you all later.
Lates.
Later.